Is this thing on?
I think so.
You dropped the ball. You're supposed to walk with hands.
I can never get enough volume.
Bingo. Heck yeah. Yes.
I'm a little slow to the train now. It is almost time for my bedtime.
Right off the top.
Yeah.
Brie and Holiness.
Mm-hmm. What about him?
July 28th and 29th in Simpsonville, Kentucky. The Call to Freedom Conference.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's going to be there, miss? Well,
You.
first of all, hold on.
You.
Hold on. We can't put ourselves first.
Natalie.
Let me try it again. Who's going to be there, miss?
Natalie.
Wait a minute. You asked me. Ask me who's going to be there first.
Who's going to be there, Phil?
Jeremiah Roberts and
who's
Andrew
he?
Sunkrantz. I'm not saying that right, I know. Hosts of Cultish.
Both of them are the Holts? The hosts
Yes,
of Cultish?
they are.
Okay.
Dang it.
Good. Next.
We're also going to be there, right? We're going to 10. We're going to 10 with y'all.
Yes.
Look forward to meeting some of you too.
We're going to bring some Hillbilly Deluxe down there.
I ain't heard that song in a while.
I know.
Brooks and
It
Dunn.
just came to mind real quick.
Go to bereaandholiness.com/conference. Get your tickets and meet me down there. We're going to fist fight in the parking lot.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. You can also pick up some of their merchandise. So you can be rocking a Berean t-shirt.
Do we got Berean?
We do. Squeak has one, you have one, and I have one because we're going to be rocking Berean Holiness merch when we get down there.
Deal.
Yeah.
Got it. Seriously, though, looking forward to it.
I am too.
July 28th and 29th.
I keep sending Natalie our game I sent her today, and then I've also sent her different songs I think would be really awesome. She's very open to things that people want to hear, and as long as they're good Christian songs or you may be a little wild. She said a few she might approve as long as they're good lyrics.
So Inner Sandman's off the table? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not even doing Pour Some Sugar on Me either.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. July 28th to 29th, Simpsonville, Kentucky.
Yes. Hotels booked?
Yeah. Be there or be square, yo. All right.
Yes.
Man, I'm trying so hard.
You're trying way too hard. That's the problem.
Now, let's talk about another conference that you went to.
Yes, I did.
We've been wanting to talk about this. Gracestory
Yep.
has a women's conference every year, right?
Yes.
By the way, should I announce? No, you cover it first. Cover it first. We'll talk about the details. How should I do this?
How should you do this? I don't know how you want to do this.
You went to the women's conference. Let's just start there. Just go there.
Gracestory. Yeah. I went to the Gracestory conference with LaDonna Colvert, and I went with Sarah Teeter, and I went with Natalie Edmondson, and then I met my friend Jill Bell there. We had run room together. I think Jill came on later on, but she was close by, so she didn't get a room. But she was there just to be able to go wild child with us. We had a really good time. Went to a Mexican restaurant together. We really pigged out that weekend. It was awesome. It was great. Gracestory also provided food for us to be able. They had some really good ice cream. They had a lunchbox that was provided as well. It came with your ticket when you purchased.
I see what you're saying.
They had some really good speakers that were there.
Kind of take me through this a little bit. So what are we looking at when you're talking about a conference? I mean, they put like in a conference center. Or are we just talking? You meet somebody's house. Or
we were in a church auditorium area. They actually had a stage where everybody could speak.
It was at a church.
Mm-hmm, they had good lighting. It was a really, really big church area though, because they had like a school, I think it was. Then they had a lot of stuff that was going on while we were doing this. So they had a daycare center off to one side for certain people. Like it was really one of the biggest churches I think I've ever seen. They had some really good speakers that were there. Actually got to talk to Amber and her brother Nathan, who are
nice people.
The leaders of Gracestory.
Had them on the podcast here.
Yes, we did.
That is good interview.
They were very, very nice. And Amber, she really opened up, and it became a really, really good time to be able to get inside her mind of why she started Gracestory.
I see.
And if you weren't there for it, you missed it, come next year. I mean, it's a good way to come this year, actually. That's when it is. But you really get to know her heart of why she started it. And then you get to hear more about different topics, whether it's suicide, mental health, postpartum depression, miscarriage, losing your babies.
They deal with a lot of the mental health aspect.
They do, and which is one thing that the CHM does not really talk about. I really found there was a lot of really good topics that whenever, we lost our first baby, way back when, he would have been 9 years old, I think. That's crazy to think about. Yeah. But either way, there was a lady that did her story of when she lost her baby, and God had told her she was going to have a boy, and it's so personal for her, and she was able to talk about it. I sat there and bawled the entire time. A friend of mine was also there, and she was crying throughout it too, because it lets you be able to tap into that part of your mind that you just want to forget about, but you never really get to grieve either about it, because when you're in the church, it's like you almost feel like you've became a failure. I know I viewed it as that. I felt like I failed my own child. And so that was one thing I learned about myself from that conference, that it was not my fault that this had happened. It was just time for that baby to move on.
So the conference was a lot of like sessions, workshops, whatever they call them? Or?
They have different workshops, yes, and a lot of the workshops were full. Like they did painting. I know they did the painting one. They did also like a group conference too, together, like little individual groups of. Oh man, they did a lot of things, which I was not able to get involved with. I did not know I could select the conferences or the workshops on there. So I didn't do that.
I see.
But there were so many little things that you could do. And that I'm going this year again. So I'm really excited.
Really
I already have my stuff. Yep. I already talked to Amber and let her know that I'm going. I know they're really, really hoping for about 400 to 500 people, I think, this year.
What was the turnout last year?
It was limited because of COVID, which really, I think
Still last year?
Yeah, last year they kind of
Really?
restricted a lot of things. Yes, because there were a lot of seats that were available, but I don't think they were allowed to bring in, because they had like things taped off. So I don't know how many exactly. For some reason, I thought it was like maybe 250. There were a lot of people. Let me just say, a lot of people.
Didn't they start this in like 19, something like that? 2019?
I think this was the third or fourth year? Third, maybe. I want to say third year. I could be wrong on that. I want to say it was like the third year, because this will be the fourth year, I believe.
I see.
Yeah. And their reasoning for starting it was to speak on like family matters, become kind of like the CHM, focus on the family.
Focus on the family. Heck yeah.
Which was great. I grew up with Focus on the Family. So a lot of it was really, really relatable. They really want to deepen your walk with God and like learn more about loving yourself, like for who you are. Like not trying to realize that we're not perfect people, but we are worthy.
Kind of coming to grips with that.
Yes. Like we are worthy of being loved. That's why Jesus died for us. They talk about kids. They talk about husbands. They talk about church. They talk about finding your people. That was a big topic that I really, really, really learned a lot from, because after leaving the CHM, you struggle with finding your people.
Yes.
And that's really hard, because in your mind's eye, you think that you're the bad one because you're the one that left them. And that's how the picture is painted. Mm-hmm. But when in actuality, we are really trying to find the people that God has intended for us to have in our lives, who will help us to grow in Him. I didn't find the CHM was trying to help me become a better Christian. I found myself being more judgmental. That was a real good thing that Sarah Fry, she talked about like the picture that we paint of Jesus. That was really, really, really good. I don't know exactly how much I can say, but just come. It's really an awesome time. If you need someone to pick you up for a ride or something within a good limit. Don't
call me. I ain't giving you a ride nowhere.
I can't pick you up from California. I'm sorry. Or Washington. But if you were need a ride or something, if you're wanting to go, I know tickets were still available the last time I checked. We can work with that. We
when
can
is
get
it?
a hotel.
When's the women's conference? We better look
the women's is November
3rd and 4th.
November 3rd and 4th is when their conference is in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah. I have a few friends that are going. I, in fact, bought my mom a ticket.
Did you really?
for Christmas.
Heck yeah.
That was her Christmas gift. She wanted to go last year, and the tickets were all sold out because of COVID, which put a hurting on them. I know they could have used the money and everything because people wanted to go, but their tickets were sold out because they had a restriction.
Had a cap on it. Yeah.
I'm hoping this year that it's going to be one of the biggest and the best because they really are a good ministry.
I like them. Their podcast is good too. They talk about a lot of stuff. They've had Dr. Graham on there. They've had
Yep.
A bunch of different people. They talk about a lot of in-depth stuff over there. And they handle it in a very tasteful fashion.
They do.
They are very good.
They have a lot of really good, educated people on there who are wanting to help out and offer that hand of assistance to be able to make it through this abuse that some people claim they've never had it, which I think they're really blinded to.
What, that they've never been abused?
They've never seen or witnessed, had no idea about this spiritual abuse. But if that's the case, good for you. But it doesn't mean it's not happening.
I'll say I can agree with them. Physical abuse, sexual abuse is one thing. I was kind of blind to that. I was blind to that. I didn't realize that. Spiritual abuse, I'd never heard of it and didn't know what to look for.
Nope.
So therefore,
because it was normal for you.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's where this Gracestory, they're able to bring awareness to things and be like, that's not normal. This is not right. And so when people are all like, yeah, I've never been through that. I've never seen this. I don't even know what they're talking about. I hate to say it, but sometimes I think they're still drinking the Kool-Aid.
A lot of people are.
Yep.
Now, granted, Gracestory does not come at it with a hostile approach towards anyone. So they don't. They do a very good.
They don't. But they do
a good job.
But they do call it like they see it and say they need help. They need Jesus. We need to show mercy and forgiveness. And I appreciate that side of them. But let's talk about part 2 of Gracestory now. Someone is going there.
Yes, I am.
Sure exactly
and right now I'm Googling trying to find out how to pronounce this name of this town. You've seen me getting all...
We're calling
Cleves.
it... I was right.
Cleves.
It's Cleves.
I couldn't...
Yes.
I could not figure that out. I never heard of that town.
Although I do like Clevis better.
Clovis sounds like a Jerry Clower story, so you could just change
Clovis.
it there. Gracestory Men's Conference.
Yes.
May 5th and 6th in Cleves, Ohio.
Cleves, Ohio.
Go check it out. Miss had a very good time at the women's conference.
I did. Wonderful time.
That played a big factor in me going to the men's conference, because if you'd come back and been like, that place just really, then I would have, I was set with the chickens that weekend. But,
yes.
Which is what I normally do. Yes.
You enjoy it way too much.
May 5th and 6th, Cleves, Ohio. I'm going to attend there. Looking forward to it very much. I think there's going to be some people that listen to the podcast. I think they're going. Mm-hmm. I've caught wind of it. Looking forward to meeting some of y'all.
Yeah, this will be a good time for you to meet a few people. That was one thing I forgot. I got to meet a few fans of the Hillbilly broadcast.
You did?
Yes.
They exist?
Oh, yeah, they do.
So good.
They kind of keep secretive, though. They don't want their names put out there.
Good move.
But it's because they're afraid of the abuse and the hurt that they are going to witness from their family by supporting us.
No,
that's
understandable.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, hey, I'll talk to anybody and everybody. You want to come talk to me? If you don't, wave at me from afar and give me a fist bump. I don't know exactly what you're meaning. Our secret handshake.
The Fuller fist bump.
The Fuller fist bump.
Yeah. You can go to GracestoryMinistries.com and find all the information about their lineup, the speakers that's going to be there, and all that good stuff. But yeah, come check it out with me. I don't want to be alone. Some of y'all. Nate might try to beat me up.
I didn't. Oh man, he's an ER nurse.
He's a big old boy.
He's actually not that big. You guys are about the same size, I think.
Oh, I can take him now.
Oh dear. Okay, so they're gonna have Ryan Waters there. He's an instructor.
He's been on the podcast a few times, right?
Yes, he has. They're also gonna have Kathy Sprinkle, which was the author of that poem, "I Can't Wait."
Oh, the one. Yeah. Okay.
And then Jared Lopez is going to be doing one. It's called "It's Not Too Late Choosing Your Marriage." He's a storyteller. And then they're also going to have a instructor there named Dr. Tim Barber. Also, Dr. John Trent is going to be, he's an instructor, and he'll be doing a topic called The Blessing. And then there's also going to be an instructor, or his name is Tim Keep, and he is going to be doing a topic called Reintroducing Jesus. And the closing challenge will be by Nate Davidson called Finding Abba.
I hope Nate's ready for my closing challenge, which sounds like we're... No, I'm just kidding.
But go look at their page there
this is all
where
listed
you can
on.
sign up.
Right.
So I will be going to Cleveland to
You
drop
ain't
you
going
off.
You're dropping...
Am I dropping you off,
Yeah,
or is
Party
Jill?
with the boys that
Is
weekend.
Jill coming to pick me up? Because
We ain't
either way,
worked all
you're
that
coming
out.
back to see Squeak with me.
I mean, it depends on how wild this thing gets.
Yeah, that's true. You might need to get a hotel up there if you're bloody nosed and everything. You don't want to come show your face to me
If
because I'll
Nate's
say
whipped my rear end,
no. But I think it's going to be a great time.
I can talk a big game all the way over here in West Virginia.
Yep.
When there's that much
Yep.
difference.
When he sees you eye to eye, you know it's done for. Done.
You know, I think it was Natalie mentioned when she announced the Call to Freedom conference that there were times that still yet when like the time rolls around for a camp meeting or something like that, she still feels it. And I can identify with that. I'm sure you can too. Like Clinton camp, sometimes I get this nostalgia
Yeah.
just around that certain time of the year. It used to be a big highlight. And you mentioned earlier about how sometimes it's hard to just rebuild that community, that culture and stuff. Some of that's just gone.
That sense of togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all together for one purpose, to become better together.
Together, we're better.
Correct that, please.
You know, this whole camaraderie and all that,
Yes.
it can be hard to reestablish that
It can.
because a lot of times you wind up stumbling around a little bit, trying to find who you're going to reconnect with after you leave CHM or IFB. Or
I was really, really happy to see like all the different groups, different
everybody
churches.
kind of mingling a little bit.
Different denominations.
That's great.
It was really great. And I didn't feel uncomfortable by certain people. That was one thing I really felt. I kind of went there with a little bit scared that someone was going to be like, you're that person and you used to look like this, but you look like that now. And that was a little scary for me. That really was, because I stepped out among CHM people in my pants. Baby's got her blue jeans on.
Jeez. You know when you should have been scared was on your trip home.
Oh, no.
Let's
Are we
go
gonna
here.
talk about this?
We're going there. We're going there right now.
Okay, I'm going to ask Dr. Tim. We need counseling.
No. Dr. Tim ain't got nothing to do with this.
Dr. Tim's going to be on your side, though.
Yes. Anybody would be on my side. And let me just explain.
Okay, go for it.
So,
Go for it.
me and Miss, a lot of times, we've not been big users of the whole tracking software over the years, right?
Track your spouse 360.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't normally go on trips by yourself.
Myself. Right.
And
In fact, I will go with my mom, like if she
Right.
wants to go on a trip by herself. And
usually it's me and you.
yes.
And so I was a little nervous. You're going out to Cincinnati.
Sure.
We live in a very large town in West Virginia.
I mean, so large.
Yes, 2,000.
We can see the end of the town.
Almost
from our house.
3,000 people.
No kidding.
So I'm kind of nervous about you going out there by yourself and all that.
Right.
And we're like, what, do we want to turn on the location sharing while you're on the trip? And we decided yes, so that, if something
Right, so
happened,
right.
I could see where you were at. Miss goes out there. She's having a heck of a time, and she calls, and she's coming back. I'm actually out running around.
Okay.
That doesn't sound right. You're out of town. I'm out with I've got
the truth will set you free.
I've got Anderson. I've got I'm out with Mom and my brother.
Right.
And you call me at like 9 p.m. I'm leaving Cincinnati. I'm heading that direction.
Yes, I just got done having dinner with some friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I checked. I know it's like a 4-hour
4 or
trip?
5, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I even leave where I'm at. I stop at Taco Bell, get something to eat.
Right.
Go back to Mom's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crashing down there because ain't no sense in being home because you're not there.
Right.
At like midnight, I'm like, let me check, see where she's at.
I should be halfway there. Right.
Yeah, this has been many hours after 9. I check.
Oh no.
Missy's like 45 minutes outside of Cincinnati.
Okay, and okay, go ahead. Keep on going.
Okay, and I'm a podcast listener. I listen to Dateline podcasts all the time. I know how this stuff works. I know what happens. I check. She's at a rest area. Along, what is that? Is it 70?
Yes. I think
at
it
a
was
rest
70.
area.
Yep. High traffic.
At 12:30.
12. Yeah.
At night.
High traffic, right?
I could already hear Keith Morrison's voice talking about reading your obituary.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, no, wait a minute. This is odd. And
because usually I would tell you, hey, I'm stopping. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, right?
Yeah. Of course, I'm calling too, and of course, there's no answer, but phones are always on silent these days.
Yeah, because my phone's always on silent.
Yes, your phone's always on silent.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm calling a few times and I'm sitting there and, I'm watching whatever movie it is I'm watching, probably a Dateline episode. So I'm probably really freaked out. I keep refreshing it, nothing. Missy's laying there dead for all I know, dead in the parking lot, probably in the dumpster.
In the dumpster. Or in that little clearing behind the bathroom.
There's always a little clearing behind the bathroom.
Her clothes are torn off.
Yeah, it was bad. That's what, I'm running all these scenarios.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
I keep like refreshing the feed and I'm like, okay, at some point she's going to start moving, and she never does. And I was talking to Mom about it too. And my brother, John, we're like, I'm explaining the situation. Mom's like, you can tell they were a little concerned too. Like, this is not normal. And finally, and I'm not the kind of person to,
because I was really excited to come home. I wanted to see my baby. Like I was ready to come home.
Yeah.
I wanted to come home. I loved having, it was so much fun, but I was like, Deuce, let's go. I'm ready to go see my baby. I've done my duty here. I've seen everybody. It was lovely to see your faces. Let's go home.
And then you're not moving along the side of the interstate. And let's be honest,
In fact,
my first suspect was LaDonna Covert. I mean, we all knew that's who the cops. But so I'm talking with Mom, and we're all kind of like, yeah, something's definitely not right. I'm not the kind of person to freak out and call the cops, right? That's a rare occasion.
In fact, I'm always the one that calls the cops because you're a man in like protecting all of us.
And I tell Mom, I said, I'm giving her till 1 a.m., mind you.
Yeah.
And then I'm calling the cops out there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm sending you messages, right? All caps, of course, because that makes them louder, right?
You're just able to scream a little bit
more likely
louder.
to wake you up.
Yes.
And still nothing.
Right.
1 o'clock comes around. I'm like, okay, we need to get cops there so they can get the evidence is what we need. This time it's
right.
It's a recovery mission.
Yeah. At this point, you're just trying to go dig up my body.
So I find the non-emergency number and all that and call them. And sure enough, they send a trooper out there. Or no, I'm sorry. Was it a trooper or a deputy? Whoever it was, cop.
Either way. Yeah, go ahead.
They send a guy out. And yeah. What was the situation there, Miss?
So, okay. When I left, are you done with your side of it?
Oh, there's still a lot more I could say here.
Yeah, no,
but I'm going to see.
I'm going to share my side of it. I'm going to share my side of it.
Yes.
So I need to get some caffeine. I was on my way home. I was like, I need to get some of this, but I'm thinking if I'm too tired, this caffeine ain't going to do crap for me. I've got to take a little bit of a snooze. So I thought I'm just going to lay down here for about, lean the seat back 15 minutes.
Where at?
At a rest stop, which is fully lit. There's a lot of people all around. I thought,
Along what road?
I-70.
Go ahead.
45 minutes outside Cincinnati. Where there was a lot of people and they were all just like constantly going.
Yes, you say that like it's a good thing.
I thought it was. Yeah, it's not some lonesome jury area. Like if they were to see me being drug away, they would probably be like, hey, there's a problem.
They would have jumped in and helped is what would have happened.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
They would have helped load you in the truck is what I'm saying.
No.
Miss was taking a nap at a rest area along the road and scared me to death.
Are you going to start screaming now?
No, I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
Taking a nap.
So,
I about had it.
So, here it is. At 12:34, I start getting messages.
Lord.
All right. Then I'm like, hey. Well, actually, I messaged. I'm on my way. I sent him my maps, okay, where I'm at. 12:34 a.m. Hey, you okay? All caps. Hey! Exclamation point. Do I need to call the cops? You are showing at a rest stop and you are not responding. Call me. Missy, you should not be pulled over at a rest stop alone. And that's the end of it. So I'm in the truck and I'm just like, oh, sleeping so good. Like it's that warm sleep that we talked about in the prior episode.
Yeah, because you were about to die. You talked about that with the warm sleep too. It felt like death. Yes.
No. And I'm like, okay, my keys are right here. My phone's right there. All right, I'm going to sleep. So then all of a sudden I hear, and I look, and I see
Ted Bundy standing right there.
No, it was a man with a clown suit on. No, I'm kidding. It was a redheaded police officer. At least he looked like he was a redhead. I thought it was my brother John. It really looked like my brother John. And I'm like, what are you? And he's like, ma'am, do you have some identification on you? And I'm like, yeah, like what did I do wrong? Like, I thought I was checking, make sure I wasn't in a disabled parking lot area. Like I wasn't getting a ticket or nothing. I pull out my driver's license and I'm like, here you go. And he said, ma'am, would you mind please calling your husband? He is distraught, thinking something happened to you.
He said distraught?
Yes.
He didn't say distraught.
Yes, he did. He was upset. He said, your husband is distraught. Please give your husband a phone call.
Distraught.
And I was like, all right. Yes, sir. I will. And he said, and he actually waited for me to start the car and hit the road. Which I thought, good for him. He wanted to make sure that I was on my way and, I was safe and I was like,
pack your crap.
Yes.
You get down the road.
He wanted to make sure that I was on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember he waited and he followed me right out. And then he turned around at that little turnaround part and he waved and I was on my way. But yes, I gave you a phone call shortly afterwards.
After I had already started like finding a replacement wife.
You were taking mail order brides. I know it.
Yeah. No, don't.
I don't want to hurt
people.
She better not be a blonde and she better not be a brunette and she better not have black hair. She better have red hair.
Naps
if you want to tell me that you like all redheads are pretty cool, you better go after redheads.
By yourself.
If something
at
happens
12:30.
I will never do that again. Just so we're clear. I will never do that again.
I firmly defend my stance. It was not an overreaction. Rest areas along major routes of travel after dark are not a good place for a young, beautiful woman such as yourself to kick back and take a nap. There we go. It's all bad.
You're trying to salvage yourself. No, it was funny because
There was nothing.
I never felt scared or like I was in a bad area or nothing because everybody's just like constantly going here, there, everywhere. Like it was
just like Bambi. He didn't know the hunters was after him. Bambi's dad walking around. Boom. Gone.
No.
All right.
Are you done?
Calm down.
Your blood pressure is probably like
I need this conference because I need to talk to some of these guys.